This video is designed for prime wheel. RGO, this is a replica of the controls that you have. Here is a quick copy picture of the drawings that you currently have in front of you on your machine. And here we have a machine that is set up almost identical to that of your machine to help show you how the machine needs to be set up with the controls here. I'm going to walk through step by step from each point on this diagram to show you how the hosing should be hooked up. First, starting with the input, obviously you see here you have a ball valve here. I did not use that. I just simply put a direct line into this. That's essentially the same thing. You want to have a hose hooked up right into the input line here, and that'll provide the supply air to the FRL. The second thing you want to make sure is that your PSI is turned up. If it's at 0, obviously you have no air pressure regardless of the air pressure coming into the FRL. Then you'll start here, and you'll see the air comes all the way through. It'll feed into this valve, which is controlling your air motor, and then it'll continue over. Here you have a cross. We have a couple of brass fittings here, so that's the difference. But it'll come out, and it'll still start to supply air first to point A. Point A, you'll see on the diagram, is to the start button. You'll see it comes out here out of point A. Please note there is an arrow on this valve. That shows you where the input is. It must go in this way and out that way. That's a critical point, otherwise it will not work. So once it comes out of the A port into this side, it comes out, meeting a splitter, which you'll see here. Point B and C. B feeds the valve over here. Note it has to go into number 12 on that valve, which you can't necessarily see in the drawing, so note that has to be number 12. The next point comes over to C, which you'll see over here, comes into number 12 of this valve. That'll start your air motor. So when you hit this start button here, simultaneously air will go to the drill and the air motor, starting both machines. Once the drill has extended, which we'll get to that in a minute, it will reach the limit switch over here, but we'll get to that afterwards. Let's just keep going down this process line. Over here you see C came in. D, from the timer or delay, I'll be honest, I'm not sure 100% if you have a timer or if you do not, but if you do, call me and I'll walk you through it. But essentially I don't think you do. D, you can see this hose here, comes from this point, which in the picture is coming from this brass fitting and this elbow. So if there's a timer, it goes into the timer and then out of the timer to this point, but nevertheless that's that. Moving down to point over here, you have the dual pressure regulator. Please make sure this pressure is up. As you can see, if it's not, this one's at about 30 or 40 psi. You could crank that up if you need be. That's going to control the extend pressure, where this is going to control the retracting pressure and the air motor. Moving down the line, we now have this dual pressure. This is a jumper. This has to be connected. It supplies the air pressure for the extend. Come out here. This goes to the retract point. This has to go from this 1/4 inch hose all the way up to the front of the drill port. Okay? Then you come over here to the back port. This is for the extend. This must come all the way over here. Ignore this piece. We're just using this for the illustration. It'll be a direct connection all the way to the fitting. So you should not have this part, just a hose going straight all the way to the drill right here. Now if you jump down to the valve, I want to note something real quick. On the picture, you'll see the numbers are slightly different. Here's the 3 is on the left and the 1 is on the right. This is a different valve, so it's a little different where they're on opposite sides, but the numbers are identical. 3 should be a plug. As you see here, 1, hose comes out, and goes all the way to the drill, to the motor. Again, you might not have this this type of valve. You probably have a straight valve. Again, ignore that. Just going straight to a straight fitting, it's fine. So that's pretty much how your controls have to be started and wired. If everything is wired just like that, you'll hit the start button, and all this will work, and the drill will extend and retract, and the air motor will turn on. I'll do a quick illustration now. And that's how the unit should run. RGO, please note that we're not using nearly the air pressure or the PSI levels that should be used for this air motor. This was strictly for illustration purposes to demonstrate how this should be wired. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call.